our two-phase marketing plan for entry into Canada. SMHI was founded in 1908 as the National Hydrographic Office. It's a subdivision of the Department of the Environment and the Ministry of Sustainable Development, part of the Swedish government. It is a world premier climatology research center, however best known within Sweden as the weather forecaster for SMHI Radio. SMHI is involved in the studies of meteorology, climatology, hydrology, and oceanography, and has also ventured into commercial markets in Sweden with this weather forecast control product. Their mission statement states that they conduct 3 different types of operations: government-funded operations, assignment from other government agencies, and business operations on a commercial basis, which is this product. This is their only product so far. So this is, the forecast control was developed during the 1990s under Professor Roger Taisler in collaboration with Honeywell, their corporate partner. The product is a complex instrument that receives weather data from SMHI every hour and adjusts the interior temperature of the building based on that weather forecast. It doesn't just take into account temperature, but it takes into account precipitation, wind, and the temporal energy properties of the building. Thermal energy properties of the building, I'm sorry. The complex nature of the product makes it especially difficult for anyone without training to operate it. So this is the feedback, the chain that it goes through, and you can see the building. The data is uploaded to SMHI, which is sent to the partner, which is sent back to the building, and it updates it every hour. So for our market entry plan into Sweden, SMHI has no brand recognition whatsoever in Canada. It has never ventured outside of Sweden. So we're going to approach the market with an incremental market strategy. In phase 1, SMHI will be using an exporting agent in Sweden to export the product to Canada, and they will expose themselves to minimal risk while establishing a market presence. This will be laying the groundwork for phase 2, which will begin after we have established half of our market share in Sweden, which is 15% in Canada. We're going to introduce the product exclusively through the Canadian residential contractors that we've decided to partner up with, and they're to gain consumer awareness of the product. And in phase 2, we will end with an extensive advertising campaign after partnering with Honeywell, where Honeywell will take over the manufacturing of the product so that we can decrease costs when selling in Canada.
Okay, so on to Canadian mature market characteristics. Canada presents itself as a very attractive market due to the similarities it shares with Sweden, which is also a mature market. The Canadian Business Bureau has ranked Canada the 8th easiest country out of over 181 countries to do business in, which is definitely favorable for SMHI. Canada and Sweden are highly correlated markets with close-knit business relationships that have been established across various industries. Organizations such as the Canadian-Swedish Business Association and the Canadian-Sweden Chamber of Commerce both foster business relationships between various businesses in Canada and Sweden, so the markets are definitely correlated. The next characteristic is a highly fragmented market. The Canadian market is highly fragmented, which is beneficial for our product because we will be able to target various segments of the market. Branding is also essential. This will allow us to create a brand name, which will be important in Canada because consumers in Canada's buying behavior is often influenced by the brand image, brand awareness. Last but not least, there are obviously well-developed distribution channels in Canada, which, as Rob talked about before, when we were doing exporting and things such as that, will be beneficial to us. We will enter this mature market through offering a niche specific product to a specific target market. Okay, on to target market attractiveness. We have now targeted 3 particular cities across different regions in Canada: Toronto in the east, Winnipeg in central, and Vancouver in the west. All of these cities are ideal share ideal characteristics for SMHI to launch into because they are all economically strong, environmentally conscious and friendly, and have dense populations. They also have well-developed infrastructure, which will be obviously necessary after seeing the complexity of our product. We would need well-developed infrastructure in order to implement our product. All of these cities often suffer from climate fluctuations throughout the year. Therefore, a system like SMHI will help these cities conserve energy and become a little bit more environmentally friendly. All of these characteristics are shared with our two Swedish city counterparts, which are Stockholm and Gothenburg. As you can see, the populations here, Toronto exceeds the population of the rest of the cities, which is ideal for us, but as you can see, the rest of the cities we have targeted have similar characteristics to that of our products in Sweden. Okay, on to our specific target markets. First, we'll talk about our target market for phase one. We have chosen to target newly developed large residential complexes of apartments, townhouses, and condominiums. These properties are mostly owned and managed by property management contractors in these cities. So we have outlined and identified the major contractors in each of these three cities, and that will be our primary target in these cities, because these are the contractors that are in charge of constructing these new buildings and new development projects. These contractors all share in common that they seek to ensure the premier features and facilities for their residents and for their residential properties, and we feel our WeatherSync product is a premier feature that would be beneficial for these contractors to have. On to our phase two. We will once we've gained enough market share with these contractors, we will shift our target market towards private consumers. We have found out that the demand for private consumers has increased in Sweden. SMHI has yet to launch their product to private consumers, but there is a high demand in Sweden, and we feel after gaining market share there will be a high demand in Canada as well. We're targeting families specifically with higher income families, which obviously have a higher level of disposable income. They would obviously have to be environmentally friendly families that are energy conscious, and we have research to find that this usually targets homeowners between the ages of 45 and 64 that meet all these characteristics. This chart on the right is the per capita disposable income comparatively of different regions in Canada, and as you can see, our cities are amongst the ones with the highest disposable income. Toronto, Ontario, which is represented by the green line, and Vancouver, British Columbia, which is represented by the red line.
Now, because our product, the WeatherSync product, is so unique and technologically advanced, it lends itself to a similarly unique competitive atmosphere. In Sweden, eGain Sweden AB is our major direct competition. They were our partners since inception. We've separated, and talking to our agent at SMHI, he says they're very well organized and aggressive. They know the same stuff we do, they have the same product we do, and they do the same thing we do. So they are the most competitive and directly competitive company we have in Sweden. Now, because Canada is such an attractive market, we want to get over there soon and get first mover advantage. But we're always wary of the fact that they can follow us over there and most likely will. So if they ever do, they would be the primary direct competition within Canada as well. In Canada, currently, it presents itself as a great market because there's really no direct competition. We're so unique that the only pressure we will feel or friction we will feel is from a couple of different entities who pose an indirect threat. The largest one is Powerwise, which is centered in Ontario. And that's just a coalition of large electric providers and heating, ventilation, air conditioning providers who have created this campaign to educate the consumer. So they're pretty much saying, okay, you should turn off the lights when you leave, conserve energy, and consequently save money. So if this message resonates with their audience, there's no use for our product. But as we talk about later, we do something to tackle this and prevent this potential threat. But if we do nothing, they could pose a significant indirect threat when we get over to Canada.
Okay, so now we're on to our SWOT analysis of the product. First, we're going to